This is the assignment video to walk you through the assignment for topic 1. Um, so in this assignment, which is looking at personal commitments, I want us to look at both general instructions, but then some specific instructions for the paper. So in general, you will examine your worldview using the personal commitments described in Chapter 2 of the textbook. It's the same things that we went through in, I believe it's video 2, and then the test in the last video. This may be the first time you have thought deeply about what you believe. So make sure you give yourself some time to reflect on each question that's asked in this paper. You will also have the opportunity to examine your worldview according to a test given in the textbook, which we've already gone over in the video, and to express what you think the Christian faith, that is the Christian worldview, is all about. Now, when I say this, I want to say I'm not asking you to express the accurate view of the Christian faith. I want to know what you think the Christian faith is about. So from what you've picked up from people you've spoken to, what you've picked up from maybe pastors or preachers you've heard, what you've picked up from TV evangelists, what do you think the Christian faith is about? And as long as you're being honest, I don't care what your answer is. Just answer it as honestly as possible. Make sure you follow the directions in the personal commitments assessment worksheet. One of the big places where people lose points in all of these assignments is that they don't read and follow the directions. So please read the directions and follow them. GCU style is not required, but solid academic writing is expected. Okay. You have Lopes Write. Make sure you submit your paper to Lopes Write, and then when you get that report, look through the report. It will tell you places where maybe you've misspelled a word or your grammar is off. Fix them, and then once you do that, submit the paper. This assignment uses a rubric. Please review the rubric prior to beginning the assignment. This way you can become familiar with the expectations for successful completion. When I grade, I literally read the section, and I go and I look at the rubric and say, did they do what the rubric asks? Yes, they get 100%. They came very darn close and it looks good. They get 85%. It was satisfactory. 75%, not really. But they put a decent effort in. 65%, they had no clue what they were doing. 0%. So make sure you read that rubric and look for what I am wanting in this paper. As I said, you're required to turn this in. Before the system was called Turn It In, now it's called Lopes Write. Make sure you submit it. And if you submit the paper into LoudCloud, but you have not submitted it into Lopes Write, I will return the paper to you. I will reassign it and ask you to submit it to Lopes Write before you submit it to me. Okay. Also, remember that when you submit it to Lopes Write, you have to submit it a second time in LoudCloud or to LoudCloud in order to get it into the Dropbox so I can grade it. So you'll have two submissions. One submission to Lopes Write, then you'll review the report, then you'll submit it into your Dropbox, which goes in LoudCloud. Now, if you get a score that's above 20% on most papers in this school, If you get 20% or above, the paper will be returned to you, or we will have a discussion with you. If there's any plagiarism, we will be having a serious discussion, but I hope we don't have to have that. But also, if you quote more than 20% of your paper, like if your paper is more than 20% of quotations from somewhere else, you will still get that paper returned to you and asked to put some of those quotes into your own words. Now, in this paper, we shouldn't have that much of a problem because you are sharing what you believe. That being said, your Lobstreit score is going to be anywhere from 30 to 80%. And that's because the scores pick up the template, all the writing in the template, and add that into your score. So for this paper alone, don't worry about a high Lobstreit score, okay? But for the scores going forward, make sure it's under 20%. Now, for this paper particularly, after reading chapter 2 in the textbook and the lecture for this topic, write a 2 to 3 sentence answer to each of the 6 questions that form the basic components or personal commitments for your worldview. Answer the questions about your own beliefs in your own words. Don't answer what you think the Christian worldview believes. I want to know what you believe. Okay? Keep this worksheet intact and only add your answers under each question. In part 2, evaluate your worldview, the worldview you've established in part 1. This is about 250 to 500 words. Use the practical test in chapter 2 and the lecture. Then reflect on, in the next paragraph, reflect on your understanding of the Christian faith. What is the essence of the Christian worldview? And this should be between 250 to 500 words as well. Once again, in this paper, all you have to do is take the template and fill it out. Okay, we're not looking for anything else. Again, please use solid academic writing and follow the GCU style guide if you're going to quote something, which you shouldn't have to do, or use sources, which you shouldn't have to do. But other than that, we're not worried about style as much here. Just use that solid academic writing. So I hope you enjoy this assignment. I look forward to reading it and learning more about you. Have a good day.